sincerely. I've been doing it for 10 years. I have been to cinema girls before, but the last time I came, I went to the UBE. I've never been to the senior secondary, and this is my first time of coming here. We are touring. This is not the only place. Now, Niger Delta Kiddies Club, there's so much I do. A lot of us got angry when we came. Say, we are not kids. Why are these people bringing kiddies into us? We are not in school now. We are big girls. You understand? We want to come back. You understand? And why is she bringing kiddies to us? Okay, now let me tell you a little secret about the Niger Delta Kiddies Club. It is an educative outfit for children within the age of 3 to 23. Yes. Why is it up to 23? We follow our children up, even up to university. Some of them have graduated and we still follow them up. What do we do at Kiddies, the Niger Kiddies Club? What we do more is to promote our children within the Niger Delta region, more importantly. And you know that we have 9 states that are inside the Niger Delta. I don't know if you know them, but I'll just mention them. We have Abia State, we have Akwa Ibom State, we have Cross River State, we have Bayelsa State, we have Delta, we have Edo, we have Ondo, and River States. Those are the states in the Niger Delta region. And for 10 years, we have been sustaining hope and building capacity in our children. We have been sustaining hope and building capacity in our children. One of the things we do is we improve on your weakness and we fortify your strength. We know that everybody has a weakness and everybody has their strength. We help you boost your potentials. We are here as your parenting partners. Where you think you're looking for someone to talk to and you cannot find a big sister, a big brother, Niger Delta Kiddies Club has provided you with those counselors, the teachers you can talk to. But we always believe that charity begins at home. But one major thing you will not forget that you will take home is this. Experience is not the best teacher. Are you hearing me? What did I say?
Experience is not the best teacher.
Yes, experience is not the best teacher. And that is why Niger Delta Kiddies Club is out to mentor you. That way you learn from mentors' mistakes rather than you making grave mistakes. I always use myself as an example. But a whole lot we are going to learn today. But the topic I want us to hold on today, bring out your books. I'll make it brief because I want us to have a long interactive session. Our topic today is the wrong enemy. The wrong enemy. Write it down. The wrong enemy. My name is spelled Harmony.
Harmony.
So you don't forget. And our topic today is the wrong enemy. Write that down. I'll be reading a story. I'll be very fast in reading that story. And we are going to use that story and mentor you today. Please try and be quiet because I'm going to ask questions based on the story. Are you ready? Yes. The story I'm reading is from a book written by one of my mentors. His name is Tekena Ikoko. And he wrote a book that says, I wish I knew this before I was 14. I'll be using this book to mentor you today. Now this person writing this, you know that it's a statement of regret. We will not have cause to regret in Jesus' name. The worst thing that will happen to you is to say, had I known. That will not be our story. That is why we are here. And I'll be reading from the story that says, my dad was so wrong. That's the subtitle. Remember, we are talking about the wrong enemy. Please pay great attention. How could he even say that to me? Was that not abusive? Was it proper? Surely it wasn't. So why should he talk that way to me? These thoughts ran through my mind as I walked away that Saturday morning after my father had scolded me. My old man had ruined my mood. so early in the day, just because I left the garage door open. How could I say that I, Rufus, the most intelligent boy in my class, lacked initiative? Imagine that. How can a man say that to his own child? His first son, for that matter. What nonsense! If not for his age, I would have told him what I thought of him. The old man was wrong. Week after week, I held a grudge against my father. It dragged on for years. But I covered the hurt by enjoying good times with my friends, a couple of neighborhood kids, and I would hang out from time to time. We would talk about anything, but I never felt judged. I could be myself. I never heard words like, you know the things you are meant to do in this house. The work is shared equally among you. So why do you have to wait to be told before you do anything? And why must you always grumble and complain? You do not even help your siblings when you need it. Even when your sister is more responsible than you are. Since you cannot set a good example for your younger ones, can't you learn from them? My father's cruel, crafted words tore a bully in my heart, allowing bitterness and pain to pierce deep and wide. Why would he compare me with my younger sister, even if she were the perfect daughter? He was so wrong. I had to be right. I was learning things he couldn't teach me. He had no clue about video games, babes in school, and the thrills of my new relationship with Susan. All the guys I rode with had a chick, so why should I be left out? Chores, homework, responsibility, prayer, church were all my old man knew. I wonder how Grandpa raised him. These were new times, and nobody was going to raise me like a village boy. They were all wrong. Wasn't mother wrong too? I pondered over our last conversation as I lay in bed. She was the only one who truly understood my needs. She let me get away with things my father would have crucified me for. So why is she suddenly turning against me? Mother and I were home for our midterm break. Last night, she came into my room and announced that we needed to talk. I'm listening, I said, my eyes trained on my video game. Is it true that you now hang around bad boys? Is that what mother told you? I backed. How dare she meddle in my life? Leave your sister out of this, Rufus. She told me because she is concerned about you. You should be grateful she came to me and not your dad. Do you know how he would react if he hears that you now skip classes and roam around school in the company of no good students? I paused the game and turned to face her. I don't care about dad anymore. Let him do whatever he likes. I ignored the shock on her face. What will he say now that he hasn't said already? He treats me as if I'm the worst person on earth. Mother is a perfect child. Father doesn't care about me, so I don't care about him either. Rufus, I know you are angry with your father, but please, don't destroy yourself because you want to get back at him. Your sister is not as perfect as you say. She also has to endure father's harshness from time to time. We all do. What do you think will happen if we all start reacting the way you do? I said nothing, and she went on. I'll keep this from your dad only because I don't want any more arguments between you two. Make sure you get rid of those friends once you get back to school. As soon as I heard mother's bedroom door close, I stormed into the kitchen to give Mata a piece of my mind. How dare you run your mouth about me? How many times do I have to tell you to mind your own business? If you're so pleased to have a tyrant for a father, should I be pleased too? Mother left the pile of plates in the sink and turned to face me. Her eyes held a tenderness, and she managed to preserve that she had managed to preserve in spite of our harsh upbringing. Is that what you think? She asked, her voice ever so tender. She was only 15, but she had the composure of a full-grown woman. I didn't hate my sister. I was just angry that she was used as a standard for me. You think I'm happy that Dad is always hard on us? I'm not pleased any more than you are. But Rufus, you see, your rebellious attitude is only making things worse for you. The only reason I endure Dad's harshness is because I know it won't last forever. Someday, I'll grow up and live here for good. You are my brother, Rufus, and I love you. And I still have to tell you the truth, whether you like to hear it or not. If you go on like this, someday you will realize the hard way that only you will face the consequences of your actions. I went back to school and the groove continued. Nobody was going to control me or tell me how to live my life. I had to put up with them nagging at home and live by their rules. But here in school, I was the boss. Then, one day, my friend Balogo was shot. And within a week, Moses and Chima were expelled from school. A weekend of madness forever altered our destiny. I didn't know the little smoking and casual talks about hard drugs were no joke. My rolling guys often rode the dark horse. My heart raced during Monday assembly, and then I heard my name. Rufus Udo! See the vice principal in her office immediately after the assembly. I dragged my feet into the VP's office, expecting the worst. When I saw my father's sweat beads appeared on my forehead and stained my shirt, armpits, even though the air conditioner had cooled the room. Had he come to take me back home? Was I also on suspension? Perhaps Dad had pleaded with them not to announce my name publicly. I'm finished. I'm gone. Was it the day Mother had talked about? Was I about to face the consequences of my rebellion? I wish I had listened. My top package broke as my knees gave way. Son, why are you crying? My father hugged and steadied me. My father had never spoken to me in such a calm manner. Was he pretending? And Daddy, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. I should not. Oh, don't bother. Your VP told me that you lost 100 naira out of your tutorial fee. And so I decided to come in and pay for it. But I just felt like saying hello to you when I arrived. I learned that you were in the assembly, and so I pleaded if they could allow me to see you. I was both shocked and relieved. I stared at the old man. Once again, he was so wrong. I hadn't lost 100 naira out of my 500 naira tutorial fee. It was never missing. It was stolen by the loss for my man Nkechi's moi, the greed of gambling, and the pride of my girlfriend's upkeep. Was this the end of my 2 weeks old lie? I opened my mouth to tell another well-crafted lie. When my impromptu speech was interrupted, Mr. Chidi, aka Mr. Discipline, dragged the student into the VP's office. We have found him! He announced as if he had won a lottery. The VP sprang to her feet, ignoring us. When his expulsion was taken him by surprise, he ran to him in the dormitory. As soon as he heard his name at the assembly, he forgot that I was once a student myself. Now he must tell us the names of the other members of his gang. Moses, my main man, stood before the VP like a cow at the abattoir. Our eyes met and held. I was sure my name was on his lips. I was his friend. But was I also his gang member? I'm sorry that you have to witness this, Mr. Odo. The VP suddenly remembered her manners. But if you were here at the last PTA meeting, we told parents that we were prepared to flush our bad eggs among the students. This set of boys went wild over the weekend, and justice has caught up with them. Oh, not a problem, man. I thank God that my son is not one of them. You see, my son is such a disciplined and God-fearing kid, and we are proud of him. Moses opened his mouth wide. I used my eyes to beg him to spare me. You are a disgrace to your parents, my father scolded Moses. Speak up, boy. And let's tell you those other gang members, why should you suffer alone? Anger animated Moses' face. Came up. I looked away from Mr. Moses to Mr. Discipline and the video, and then I stared at my father's excited face. I wish he knew how wrong he was. When I heard Moses cleared his throat to speak, I fainted. I woke up hours later in the hospital. No sermon could be as convincing as the events of the past few days. I knew what I had to do. Daddy had been wrong. My problem was more than house chores and ill treatment of my siblings. I knew I had to change my friends and drop those destructive habits. Mindsets and behavioral patterns don't change overnight, especially when they are seen tolerated or aren't confronted with the truth. I was given a second chance at the school and I struggled initially when I returned. But pride and shame gave way to counseling and mentoring. Like an outdated software program, I underwent a delete and upgrade intervention. No more garbage came into my mind, and so no garbage went out. Soon, I stabilized. I broke free. Looking back at Balogun, Moses, Chima, looking at the time wasted to rebuild my broken walls. Looking back at the stupidity of my hypocrisy, I wish my dad had known early enough how wrong he was. That is the end of the story. Put your hands together. Okay. I hope we all understand the story. So I'll quickly answer some questions before we start writing. Now, in what ways was Rufus' father wrong? Severally, Rufus said, my dad was wrong. Dad was wrong. In what ways was Rufus' father wrong? In what ways was his father wrong? In what ways? Please, glad I'll need another mic for those answering questions. In what ways was Rufus' father wrong? Please stand up your name and give the answer.
My name is Niger. He was wrong in the aspect of using abusive words on his son.
Clap for her. In what ways was Rufus' father wrong? Give her the mic to tell us your name and the answer. In what ways was Rufus' father wrong?
My name is Treasure. He was wrong in the aspect of comparing him with his younger sister.
Beautiful. Put your hands together for her. In what way?
My name is Rebecca. In the way that he was wrong, that he was saying that his child was like Christian like person. He was also not all those people that join bad people that.
Thank you. He didn't know his son. Clap for her. At the time, he did not know his son. He was now saying his son was this, was that. Do we have another answer different from what she has said? Now I want to ask one question. Rufus' sister Martha, was she a good girl?
Yes.
Was she a good girl?
Yes.
Was she the perfect daughter?
No.
What makes you think she's not the perfect daughter?
Please, your answer.
What makes you think she was? Raise your hands. Let's answer the question. What makes you think she was not the perfect daughter? What makes you think she was not the perfect?
I think she's not a perfect daughter because nobody is perfect in this world.
Okay. I want us to read some things from the story we read. What happened? What makes you think she was not the perfect daughter? Who can answer that question?
My name is Precious. Okay, she was not that because she was also shouted at
at some time.
So that he can concentrate. Yeah. Live. Yeah, I know it's live.
Sorry, I didn't hear your answer.
Okay, I said she was not the perfect daughter because at some time her father shouted at her.
There's a particular answer I'm waiting for. What makes you think she wasn't the perfect daughter? Your name?
My name is Treasure. She was not the perfect daughter because even her mom told me that she is not also perfect.
Okay, I've not gotten the answer I'm waiting for. What makes you think she wasn't the perfect daughter? I'm looking for a particular answer. Let's try. Your name?
My name is Faith. I don't think she was perfect because she reported her brother.
Okay. Anyway, okay, somebody else has something else to say. Okay.
I think she was not perfect because even when the first mom had to tell me that his sister also had to endure father's absence.
Okay. I think the sister also told, she said, why I think she's not the perfect daughter. She was also waiting to get out of the house. She said one day she will get out of the house. So she was just like, let me endure. I will soon leave. Most of you are already here, you're in secondary school, and at home they disturb you. You won't start waka waka again. Anytime you want to move, they tell you, here you go. I know, but believe you me, we have perfect daughters here. Even when you go to university, you will not wonder about. In Jesus' name. Okay, now listen. Should the school have suspended Rufus alongside Moses and Chima? Yes. You agree? Why? Why do you think it was good that they suspended him? Why? Why do you support the suspension and the school should suspend him?
Because he was also their partner in crime and he also did what they used to do.
No, he was not doing everything they were doing. He said he didn't know some of the things they were doing. Who else has an answer? You support the school suspending?
And then he's about I think he's supposed to be arrested because he didn't pay heed to his father's instruction to leave bad guns. Beautiful.
Are you aware that those children were arrested? Yes, they were arrested. That was why they were brought forth. What's the definition of arrest? Mr. Discipline arrested them and brought them to the VP's office. That's an interesting vocabulary. My dad, that's a senior girl. Okay, now let me just tell us why he was part of them. Show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. Communication corrupt good.